So, first of all, thank you all for being here today. Thank you, the organizer, for accepting the session. I hope you can take some ideas from it, and hopefully, there's something here that you will discover and maybe a new insight on things you already know. Today, we're going to talk about hyper automation, or how we can revolutionize document processing using the document automation toolkit from Microsoft, but including some other ideas how to extend, how to leverage on other Microsoft technology like process mining. Uh, First of all, the Polish port funnel community. There's a thing four of them. Information on every deck, I assume, showing the one that is best for you. And there's a Discord channel as well. There is possibility to win tickets for results for the European Power Platform Conference. I think you need to submit your survey. And a 10% discount as well. Okay. Sorry for. I'm pretty sure you already went through the events, but
Yes.
sorry, I said.
We did.
Yeah. Quick reminder, April 11-12, Collapse Day, and September 13-14, Baltic Summit. So, quick one. I'm Nico Fernandez. I'm from Argentina. I live in Spain for the last 6 years already. That's a lot of time. I'm a solution director in HCL. That means I lead the EMEA and APAC pre-sales team for Dynamics 365 and Power Platform, but solution director sounds better. I'm 4 times MVP, running for the fifth and the blue disc. Who knows? And 4 times MCT as well, which has renewed the fourth for the fourth year in a row. I work with BitSapps since 2014. I started with CRM 2013. Yeah, I was lucky because I didn't use CRM 2011. I know many people loved it. I didn't. My LinkedIn there so we can connect. So I was assuming it's a short agenda for today. So we are going to introduce the hyper automation concept for Power Platform. So what is the technical landscape when we talk about hyper automation? Something that resonates a lot lately. Well, actually, Copilot killed every other conversation, but there's a few other good things that to discuss. Then we're going to talk about document automation toolkit, what it is, where you can find it, what it does. We're going to do a quick intro as well for process mining. It's one of the latest, I will say, introductions into the Power Platform family. So, and it's, to be honest, not the most used yet, but it has a lot of benefits for organizations, big organizations that want to optimize the processes. Then we're going to discuss how and why we could mix all together and how it looks like, right? So hopefully, as I say, we will introduce some good ideas. So basically, when we talk about hyper automation, the landscape of the portfolio, we have a lot of things. Okay, automations, I forgot to put them to be automatically. Basically, from RPA, that is the classic thing you'll think, right? It's the most common application you will talk when you think about hyper automation. Passing through the low-code platforms, there's where we have Power Platform in general, but of course, Power Apps as a highlight to quickly develop applications, building business processes, having an integration platform, having document management, being able to analyze tasks and processes with task and process mining, being able to process documentation, having OCR, having intelligent processing, document processing that is slightly different than document automation, having AI included, and of course, having conversational artificial intelligence. All these things are part of what you will find in an hyper automation portfolio, right? We are going to talk about a few of them today. We're going to see how we can leverage in a solution, including a low-code platform. We're including cloud automations. We're going to include OCR in I don't want to say intelligent document processing, but intelligent document automation, we will say. But we can extend to be document processing as well. We are going to see how to include that also with process mining. So the first thing is, what is the document automation toolkit? Okay, Document automation toolkit is a set of tools that will give you the possibility to extract information from documentation. This is the definition of document automation that Microsoft has. And it's strange because actually the document automation toolkit doesn't use RPA by default, but of course you can use that in order to work in this part of what you can extend. So what else can you think? Okay, the documentation toolkit is a toolkit, right? The dot is a toolkit, and it means it's a group of tools that you will be able to use, deploy, automate to extract key information from the written documents. You will be able to use it in a way that you will be able to expand it, you will be able to utilize these components, and it's quite easy to deploy. Basically, the technical landscape here, it is limited. So we are going to see how we are using Dataverse to store all the processing. We will have a user interface with the Power Apps. We will be leveraging on Power Automate for the logic, and we will have AI Builder as a key AI modeling solution to define the AI models to extract the information. What the documentation toolkit offers by default is this simple process where you start from an email that you will receive in your mailbox that will have an attachment. Then it will take that attachment, it will process it, it will save it, it will start processing it, extracting key information, and then it will allow you to review the entire process and to work with it. Right now, Microsoft has, of course, has a roadmap. For the moment, you can create with custom documents and invoices. You can deploy with to use custom documents and invoices. By default, you could use the pre-built invoice AI Builder model, or you can create your own document processing models with AI Builder. Regardless of that, that is the same experience to install and to use, and then we will see how it looks I think, in less than 5 minutes. Then in the future, as part of the roadmap, it also includes to export information to finance and operation, to export information to SharePoint, to process receipts and identity documents. Something that is important, the first two, is that what the document automation toolkit right now is doing, it's helping you on processing things and extracting things, but it doesn't do anything else, right? Once the information is extracted, it's up to you to create the flows or the logic you want to have in place. What it's going to be doing, these two first solutions, to help you on that journey, right? If you have FNO, or you should say FNSEM, it will help you automatically connect with your instance and then to import or to export that information and import into to the Dynamics FNO. The same with using SharePoint. So the idea here is right now what you have is the beginning of the journey. These two will help you on the end. Now, the latest two, the receipts and identity documents, are two different inputs, right? It's to help you to enable you on this document automation toolkit. Now it's going to start being more like a document processing solution, because it will allow you to have different type of documents, not only PDF or images as a document, but also receipts that has a specific structure and identity documents. So regardless that these are not yet here, both the receipts scanning or extraction and the identity document model are available in AI Builder. So if you need to have those today, you could take the document automation toolkit, install it, or take it as an inspiration if you don't need a PDF, the classic documents as well. And you could build replacing that AI model. So you can extend, you can modify it slightly to support the receipts or the document identity documents, the IDs. So even that they're not yet as a pre-built, ready-to-use solution, it doesn't mean that you couldn't do it by yourself. And with that, possibilities are, enormous, of course. So what is the out of all, what is the process that Microsoft is telling you that you will have with the documentation toolkit? Okay, you will receive the documents, as I said before. It will extract information. If needed, a human will have to do some validation, and if needed, it's important because it will allow you to define a level of confidence that you will blindly trust on whatever the AI model extract from the document, right? So when you use document processing models, you will receive the extracted data, but also a confidence level that goes from 0 to 1. So if that confidence level is below 80% or 0.8, 0.9, 0.95, so it depends on how well trained and how much you trust in the AI to do it automatically. So you can define that threshold, and based on that, if it's below that, then you basically will go and validate. You will see that as manual validation, and you'll have to go there, validate, do the adjustments as you need it, and then you can continue with the process. Now, the export part is not, as I mentioned before, it's not there yet, right? Right now, what it helps you is in the first 3 boxes, the export is something you will have to build by yourself. And the last part is to monitor. I'm not going to lie to you right now, it's limited what you can monitor. That's why we introduced this idea of including process mining to help on that 2 last pieces of the journey. Any questions so far? No. Perfect. I don't know if that's good or bad, but as I say, I work in pre-sales, so I talk a lot, and I will try to ask all the time if there's any questions. Now, let's do a quick demo of the document automation toolkit for those who doesn't know it. So let me unshare my screen, change what you are seeing here, and I will share it again. Okay. So, hope you can see my screen again.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So basically, where will you find it? So on your Power Automate Maker portal, you have the AI Hub. Okay, on the AI Hub, you will have different options. You'll have the AI prompts. The models probably shouldn't have done that. It was already loaded. But you have the AI models, the prompts, and then document automations, right? If you click here, it will take you to the landing page I was before. It will show you the solution. It will tell you what I just explained. It will show you this. See, here's where I took the screenshots. It will help you to calculate the ROI, whatever, right? But the important is how easy is it to install? Okay, it's a wizard. So it's fairly easy. You just click here, you say install solution. It will work. Then it will show you that you need to configure the connectors, Dataverse and Outlook. And then it will show you the next steps is to configure the security and a few other things, right? But it is something that is automated. You don't need to worry. It's not something that you need to download the solutions, upload in a specific order. It is fully automated. You just click install and it will go, okay? So how does it work? Basically, you will have this application. We can see in a bit, we'll see the solution, how it's built inside. But you have this solution, this application, where you can see here, I reinstalled it yesterday and tried in a new environment, so it was going to be fresh and without other sample data. Basically, it shows you the document that you processed. It will show you all the information that it was meant to extract, and wherever the information wasn't fine, you will see it as empty. And of course, it's red because it's a warning. The information that was extracted, you will see the information, and then the level of confidence that I was mentioning before. So as you can see, there's some things that are quite confident as 98%, or things not that much as 88%. But if we zoom in, and let me see, where is the, okay, 345 North Street, New York, 98752. So even if it's 88% of confidence, it is correct. So you could add some comments, you could validate if you need to add any information. Now, it also has a table, and for those who doesn't know, the document processing AI model allows you to train it not only for specific data on the document, but also it manages and identifies tables and extract information from tables. But as you can see, this model, I'm using the out-of-the-box invoice processing model, the pre-built one, not a custom one. So it has a lot of other information that this invoice doesn't have. That's why it's showing me other columns in red, as they were not identified. But we can see it here, it is as a quantity, here is expecting as well as a unit, product code, date, tags. We have here quantity, description, unit price, and line total, and these are the information we have here. Different labels, different order, but it was completely identified in the right way, right? So it is quite advanced and smart. But how does it work? Okay, I'm going to forward the same document. If you allow me, I will forward it to me as well. The thing is, it will take a few minutes, so I want you to trust that it works. So we see that it's being sent. What we're going to see is how it works in the background, right? Now it's just receive it. What we have as an out-of-the-box part of the solution is, sorry, I thought I had the solution open. Okay, here. We have a lot of solutions. All these things are installed when you install the, a lot of things install when you install the automation toolkit, right? And here we can see that we have 3 cloud flows. One that is responsible for the importation, one that is responsible for the processing, and another one that is responsible for the validation. And these are the 3 flows that we have here. So the first one is the importer. We can update this, refresh, and see that it was successful. We can check how it worked and see what it does. But basically, it is monitoring the mailbox. Okay, you can add as many validations as you want in between, but basically, it is checking for each attachment. It's creating one. It's getting the configuration of the documentation toolkit, and then it's creating a new instance of the document processing. What it means is that it will create that first record that will allow you to start tracking the life cycle of what is happening with this document, right? What which stage it is, what is happening, if it's blocked, if it needs anything. And it comes with an out-of-the-box life cycle that, of course, you can customize and extend. Then it shows you that uploads the attachment, right? The second one is the processor. And again, we can refresh. Now it is a success as well. And what we can see here is a lot more. Basically, this is going to take the document from Dataverse, and it's going to start, so it's the processing itself, and it's going to start creating different variables. It will get the attachment, get the model that we're using, and then it's going to extract the information, right? And it's going to define, here is where it has all the mapping of the different fields with the AI model. That is part of the configuration that we're going to see in a minute. Probably I should show you that before. And it's doing everything, and then it's updating the status. The third one is running validations. And basically, after we extract everything, we are going to continue reviewing, and here you say, we will get the confidence level of each one of those, right? And then we'll check if it's above or below the threshold that is defined, right? If it's above, everything's okay. If not, it will be needed to be validated. So how do we configure all of this? And now if I refresh, you should have the next one that is already validated, and it's the same document as you see here. So the configuration of this is quite simple. Once you install it, you just have the configuration. Then one thing that is it's not positive, I don't want to talk in a negative way, but it's not completely positive. It's that this supports one model at a time, right? One configuration at a time. And that's something that you could extend if you need to manage more than one type of model to be running with different inboxes, for example. So if you have shared mailboxes and support, I don't know, HR, IT, whatever, each one could receive different type of documents, then it makes sense for you to extend to support more than one. So here it will be showing you the different AI models that you have for document processing, As you can see, we have the invoice processing model that is a pre-built one. And here we just select it. And here's where we will be able to see all the information that is expected to receive and how it's being mapped in the solution. If there's any change on the training of the model, we could refresh that, and that will help us to do the mapping. And the same here on the tables, right? So we have the table and we can see all the data that is being extracted, we already know, and how it's going to be mapped. So now that is done, this is the active configuration, and that this is the logical, this is the information that is using for the mapping. Yeah, there's a question how to solve issue when you have a known scam invoice. Yeah, so to be honest, I don't think invoice is the best example because, as you say, each one of your vendors will have different invoices. That means you need to train a model for each one. I don't think the pre-built invoice, I hope even that this recorded Microsoft doesn't hear me, I think it's going to be fit for every solution. What I will recommend is you'll have probably to build train its own model for the different invoices in order to success in having that. So we are at ETL extending this to a more complex framework, and actually we're trying to avoid the invoice example that is the out of the box, that is what Microsoft is pushing a lot, also because there is a lot of ERPs that has a pre-built invoice processing solution, but there's a lot of other documents that could make sense to include here as an AI model. And just for you, if you didn't use a lot of the document processing model, you can use both structured documents like this invoice that we are seeing here that it has a specific structure. That's why something generic won't fit. You will have to train it for the different structures, all the information that is expected to receive. Then you have also the unstructured documents like contracts. So you can also have those type of documents. You work with a model. No, I haven't. So I think I mentioned before, I've been in prison for the last 7 years. So I usually work with more simple happy path scenarios, not real life complex like 20 pages documents. But it's something that it is supported to have multiple pages, but I haven't tested that much. And yeah, I can feel that your experience was correct. That's also, why the documentation toolkit, as any no-code, low-code solution, it is great, but I believe you need to identify for which use cases works, and also when you need to jump to something more complex from Azure, for example. So Azure has its own service, there's the Azure AI Intelligent Document Services that I would assume is going to be better for complex document processing scenarios. So AI Builder, it's good, it has its limitations, and when you need to combine different models, also you will find limitations because, for example, the languages available in the different AI Builder models are not the same. So if you need to combine them, sometimes you will find yourself in a struggle, and you will have to think on a more Azure approach. That's why, as well, as I was saying before, this is for me, it's a template, it's a toolkit you will use, and you will extend it. I think the flow itself makes sense. I think the solution is pretty well designed. I don't like the AI, the UX, and the Canvas app. That's something we can change, of course. But I think the concept and the idea, it is great. That's why we are developing our own intelligent document processing framework. But we're using part of these as inspiration to extend and to build that solution. The idea here is you can support only one type of document. So it's a PDF image, but it's a document processing. If you want to include, for example, emails, audio, videos, pictures, as for example, object dictation or the type of AI model, this is not supporting that. That's why I don't like to say this is intelligent document processing, because it's quite limited in that aspect. But that's the concept of what you can extend once you have this will be like your starting point, your fundamental solution, and then you can build on top of this. So you can, as we are doing, taking this as an inspiration and building our own intelligent document processing framework, IDPF. How do you think processing document using that approach? We are using the ChatGPT the AI prompt to summarize the documents. I cannot show you that for the moment. It is a solution we're working at HCL. It works okay. So, but it's a simple use case. We're not doing more than that. Share with the AI prompts. We're starting to use them with the IDPF. Again, I believe a real IDPF, and that's the concept we're building, should support the configuration layer. So when you define which is the type of document you want to process, you should have a rainbow of possibilities, right? And you should be able to say, I want to do A, B, C, and D with this file that I'm going to send you through the channel of my choice, right? Could be by email, could be with the portal, could be with RPA, because whatever. It's an assistant without API, so whatever reason. So that is what an IDPF should be. That's why I didn't want to say that it was an intelligent document processing solution. It is more a document automation. It extracts information, and it's good enough. Yes, it has a prediction model. AI builder has one of those. And you can use it in different ways. With the table and data, you can train that to use it. And again, it's the art. Sorry, I'm responding directly without reading the questions. They are in the chat, so you can. Ooh, that's a lot. Prediction model is able to detect great number. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a proposal. Maybe we should take the questions at the end, and then.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, no problem. I thought it was going to be a few, and then start to pop. Okay, so this was the quick the current information toolkit solution demo. The idea was for you, if you didn't know it, to start knowing it. I promise you, probably when you try to install it, okay, this didn't finish yet, but it's just this, so it won't give you a problem. You just need to install it, and it's really easy to start using. So I encourage you, you can create a trial. If you are a partner, probably have access to the cdx.microsoft.transform.mark. I don't remember the URL right now. Oh, now it's solution installed. Now we need to set up the connectors, as I was mentioning before. So as you can see, it is quite simple. Didn't give me any error. It gave me once, but it is not a common thing. So it's quite simple to start configuring. Now it's not allowing me to select this because I have this pop-up in the background, so I need to close this one. That's an ugly bug. Now I can choose my Dataverse connection, etc. Right, create one, etc. So as you can see, it's a simple process to install it. Let me go again back to the PPT. And let me open the Teams chat at the same time so I can see everything here. Okay. So now we saw what the document automation toolkit is. Let's quickly discuss. I'm not going to give you a masterclass of process mining because I'm not an SME on this. I'm starting my journey myself in process mining. But what is process mining? It's a tool that will allow you to start analyzing your business processes. And I believe the biggest challenge that you will have here is to actually have the data to extract and to analyze. So for me, it's a data project more than a business apps project, right? So you need to understand the process, but the most critical part here is that you need to consolidate and have the data in a way that can be ingested and then process it. It is part of Power Automate. Is the I will say I will be wild guess, is the latest acquisition. I don't think there's anything as a product announced after this one. And it will give you a really great web solution and also a desktop solution to work and analyze your processes. It will give you visual components and also some KPIs to understand what is happening. You will be able to drill down in your process as much as you need to understand. But of course, it will depend on the data that you have. So if you have really bad data, then your analysis is going to be limited. Now, if you have really detailed data, maybe you're going to be, dying trying to analyze of the data. But of course, if you have more data and if the data is consistent and makes sense, you will be able to extract more KPIs and be more efficient in your analysis. So how it works, basically, it will help you to identify the processes, doing the process map, understanding how it interacts, all the branches it has. It will give you different insights. You can take recommendations. The idea is for you to transform your processes, your operations based on this information. And of course, then it will go back to your loop, right? So as I say, the key part here is the data. So you will have ETL solutions to process the data. It's data flows. It's being used for many solutions in the Microsoft. So you will have the visual component of the process where you will be able to see the different stages that are defined in your data. So in your process, how many times that stage was executed. If there is any type of loop, you will identify that as well. You will have a lot of KPIs and visuals out of the box with this analysis. And of course, you can use Power BI visuals to drill down. You will be able to compare different branches of different versions or variances of the process. You will be able to identify where there is a rework and where that means where are different improvement opportunities. Also, part of this, and this is something I'm still on my path, as I mentioned before, is to identify what is the root cause of the problem. So really to know what is creating those inefficiencies in your problem and in your process, and of course to define and have business alerts and different monitoring rules. You will be able to create, I didn't work that much, but you're able to create your own metrics and your own views to analyze and have your Power BI dashboard created based on this. And of course, you can extend with Power Platform for other cases. And the idea is here is you will be able to use the out-of-the-box templates, or you can, create your own data, putting on database, CSV file, whatever, to ingest into these processes. There's a lot of roadmap here. I'm not completely sure at which extent right now it is in GA, the different pre-built templates. Of course, ERP is a key part of this, and so you will find the F&O, you will see SAP as use cases because it is, it's not that important to track the inefficiency in the customer service process more than what is making you lose money on your operations, right? So say that the idea of mixing everything together is, okay, we have on one hand the process that will extract information, right? So we have a document we receive by email. We will have that integration orchestration layer that is basically all three are the three different level of Power Automate that we saw, the cloud flows we saw, and it's going to be taking all the emails and extracting all the information. Yes, you have an analysis layer with the Canvas app that we saw. Now, if you really want to identify, you have the source, you have the possibility to integrate, to orchestrate, to process, and to analyze. And this is what Document Automation Toolkit gives you. Now, if you really want to make the best of this, is where you need to start thinking, okay, how can I extend this? Once that I have my information from the documents ready and already extracted and validated, and I know it's good information and that we can start using it. Okay, now you need to identify what do you need to do with that information, right? So you need to start doing the orchestration in the opposite way, right? In the output direction. Once you do that, you need to say, okay, now this information, where does it need to go? Should I send it to FNO, FNSCM, to SAP, to CRM, to Salesforce? Should I save it in a SharePoint list? What do I need to do? Okay, that is the integration layer, and then between that orchestration integration layer, that is basically the extension that you will have to do with your document automation toolkit is what will allow you to close that loop. Now, if you start tracking what is happening on that process end to end, not only doing the document automation toolkit part of the life cycle of the document, but after as well, you could include in your analysis layer process mining. And how? Okay, if you remember, I caught here the monitoring, right? This is the 4 first stages. So when we received the document, we saw that the Power Automate Cloudflow creates an instance of the document processing, right? This document processing will start tracking what is happening with that document. And it's by default, it is doing that at some level, okay? Then you could create a custom log, right? So for every stage of that document automation toolkit process, you could extend that into a different log with more information that it is valuable for you. You could also create a custom log on the same table, of course, that will be easier for every stage of the process on the target system. So let's use the example I don't love, the invoice example, right? So I received the invoice or the purchase order, right? I received a purchase order. I extract all the information. Then I'm going to integrate that with SAP. What happens with that purchase order? Okay, there's going to happen a few things. I don't know what, who is going to take it, if some approval needs to happen, it will escalate. If there is a delegation of authority and it's going to be crazy, all the approvals are going to go through. But that process that is defined in the target system, it is actually related to the document or to the instance of the document processing that we created when we received the document. So if we track all that life cycle from the moment we receive it until the end of that process, we could actually analyze the end-to-end of that to identify the inefficiencies. So this is what it will give you the document automation toolkit processes, right? You'll have to extend it at some point. This is what you will do with process mining. And this, of course, is part of what you will need to extend in order to have this end-to-end log. Does it make sense?
Yep.
Okay. I think there's an issue with my camera, right?
You just disappeared.
Yeah,
But
I see.
until now,
I see. I don't know why.
Visible.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not going to waste time fixing that. So let's do a quick demo of process mining. So let me unshare my screen. It is annoying to see that. Let me, if I disconnect and connect the camera. No, it doesn't do anything. Okay. Let me open process mining and share my screen again. Okay, now I'm visible again. Good. And I hope you can see my screen again. This is for the bloopers, you know?
Yes.
So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So this is the desktop application for process mining. So as we were seeing in the slides, you have a web application or web tools, and then you have the desktop application. In the desktop application, there's a lot of more tools that actually every time I open is downloading updates. I'm not able to to follow everything that's being uploaded, to be honest. And And as I mentioned before, I'm not fully expert in this area yet. I'm not fully expert. I'm not an expert yet on this part. So sorry, let me go back to show something that I didn't. So first of all, this is connected to the environment, so it's to the tenant, so I can change the environment, because I could have these in different environments, and on each environment I will have different processes that I'm analyzing, right? And here you will have the different processes you have. Somebody could create another one and share that with you, and again you could pin them so you can have it as a favor. So if I pin it here, now it should appear here, and it's for a quick review. Of course, as a pre-sales guy that only does demos of these, or we're starting to do demos, I don't have a lot of processes to analyze, but it is the first one. So once you click, the first thing you will see is the process map, and it's quite amazing because it will allow you to see and identify the different stages of the process. You can guess this is all dummy data, just for the sake of the demo, but you will see the different stages or stages or status of the document processing the document automation toolkit model, right? So you have the uploading document, extracting data, validating data, data validated, and then you'll have the process or the stages of the process that is actually happening in the target system. And here's where you can see the richer part of this, right? Because until this point is quite straightforward. You could have here some other validations. You could have some manual validations or some approvals before you send the data into SAP or your ERP of choice. So even that in this example, this is straightforward. The document automation toolkit part of the process doesn't have to be that linear, right? You have some other steps and variances depending on the process, right? So once you start, you will start seeing how this starts opening some branches, and it will start showing you, and you can see how many times the each action happens, and then you can click not only on the actions but also on the connections. You can see for this action how frequent it is, or how total number of actions happens, on how many cases. Yeah.
Nicolas, are you sharing the screen? Because we can see only Power Automate process mining and the spinning.
It's frozen. Sorry.
Yes.
I'll reshare, because you should be able to see.
Much better.
Yeah. Okay. No, this is what I was saying. That is straightforward. Hope it makes sense now that you can actually see what I was pointing with my mouse. So this is all the steps that I was saying, that you could have other variances if you have a manual review of the document while it's being processed, or even you could add other approvals stages the moment that you are extracting the information before you send it to the ERP, right? And here's where you can start. You start your ERP process, the invoice processing itself, but as a business process, not the document itself, and all the different stages. Just to understand the naming, where process mining says a case, is that unique process identifier, right? It's the instance of that process. Okay, so you have 133 documents that are being documents processed here. So that says you have 133 cases. That unique case ID that we are creating when we receive the document, that instance of the document processing, is the one that will allow us to track the entire process through process mining. So, and I was saying here, you have something straightforward, but here again, you will click here and you have some different. Sorry. Sorry, some differences. So you see that in total, 12 times this action was performed, but only on 9 cases. And you can actually see that here in the visual, right? You see that 9 cases comes here, but 12 times comes here, 48 times comes here, but here you have the 3, differences, right? The 9 plus 3 gives you the 12 times these action was performed. So you have 3 cases that, or up to 3 cases, could be the same one that happened 4 times, but you have the occurrence in case, and here you have that as maximum occurrence in case 3. Okay, you have some KPIs on the duration and the rework. That means, so there's a loop inflow of 3, and then you can keep checking. You can keep checking on different people who were part of this, the resources or the invoice value of the rework. Again, different KPIs or different dimensions of your process that you need to have, right? There's a limited information you actually need to start using process mining. You need the case ID, the start of the action, the stage, and I believe the 4th party is who's doing the action. I think those are the 4 minimum data you need to actually start using process mining. You don't really need the end date, but you could include that. It will give you more precise duration, because you could assume, process mining will assume that it ends when the next action starts, but that not necessarily is the truth. And then you can extend that, right? Which is the department? In this case, what is the invoice? Who's the customer? The location, the region? What is the office? Or the subsidiary that is taking care of this process, right? For this case. So all that information that you have as part of your process, because from one way or another, you have that information, because you can take it from the user, so from related information from the user or from the customer, etc. All that information is what you will have to create on that custom log that I was explaining before. Something finally or something interesting connected to audit log. I don't sure about that question about the audit. I don't think so. There was a discussion I had with a colleague a few months ago, 5 months ago. I think it wasn't completely possible, and even if it could, it is not all the information that you need, right? So you will need more information that shares what the native audit logs gives you in Dataverse. So this, and just close the demo and see if there's any other question. Shows you how the process actually happens. So it is taking all the timestamps and it's showing you how different documents or different cases goes through the different stages, right? If there's anything stopped in one stage, you will be able to see that. Again, it's another way to see the information in a really nice visual way. So that was the idea of today, to share with you this concept, this insight on how we could potentially leverage on. Okay, now the camera is off again. Sorry, the camera doesn't like me. Apparently, I'm not as pretty as I should. So that was the idea, to show you this concept on how we can start thinking on a wider Power Platform solution. And now I'm upside down because it is not taking. Now it's correct. We can start putting together different pieces of the Power Platform, not thinking on just one solution, but how actually all the pieces of the puzzle can fit together. This is something I'm still, as you may notice on process mining, I'm still learning. It is a challenge. It is a different way of thinking that I need to put myself on. But I believe that it's a great way to see and to position the platform and how everything adds value when you work together, with the different tools, and actually how Power Platform can and supports multiple use cases. Is any other question I didn't here it's coming from? Where is coming the process from? This example, business process flow. Okay. In this case, it's the CSV file from the sample data that I extended for the demo sharing. You could potentially use business process flows data, but for that you will have to extend the login, and you need to create a custom log. There is an MVP in Spain, Mar Shambi, that did an amazing session last year about that and how she used it. So yes, you could potentially use, and that's a great way, because in Dynamics CE or any Power Platform, Power Apps, model-driven app, we know about business process flows. It's a great way to design a process, and we can quickly identify if you're putting a lot of tasks or a lot of steps into the BPF, that doesn't make sense.
And as I remember, I think also you can feed this tool with desktop monitoring. So probably you can monitor some desktop actions, and
that's
then
the task mining.
Task mining.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't get into task mining yet, but yes, with task mining, that's the other part of the process, because that's something that Microsoft creates some complexities, when they change the name of the products and they create confusion, at least for me. But yes, now on process mining, you have task mining and process mining, right? Something like that. Because before that, it was process advisor, but I think process advisor name was deprecated and they talk about process mining, but that includes process mining and task mining. So yeah, it's confusing.
Yes. Any other questions we had? Can process mining be connected with audit log to retrieve the historical data? I think you have already mentioned it.
I'll send the deck to you, Mikael. I don't know if there's going to be a shared location to everything, but I'll send it to you at the airport. That you need to to be jumping to a taxi in 10 minutes.
Yes.
Nice. We appreciate your time.
I really appreciate you have me here. It's a pleasure for me, and I hope, as I said before, to be able to bring some insights and hopefully inspire some solutions, extending the document automation toolkit that I love as is, but I love it more when it's extended.
Yeah. Super. Thank you very much for your session, and it was great. I think we learned a lot from today.